This episode of WhysAdvice is sponsored by Health IQ, an insurance company that helps health-conscious people like runners, cyclists, weightlifters, and vegetarians get lower rates on their life insurance. Go to healthiq.com/DAG to support the show and see if you qualify.
FatDag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, FatDag.
I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 175 of WhysAdvice. And do you guys remember episode 1? Isn't that crazy that here we are 174 episodes later? It hasn't even been a full year. We're coming up on, I think March 15th will be a full year. About 1.7 million times this podcast has been downloaded. Completely blows my mind that we just continue to just stay focused and get it done. And that's how we continue to win. And I'm going to open the show with something a little bit different and not significantly different. But over the weekend, of course, as you know, it's really very important to me that we do this show every single day. But if you look at the release dates, it just isn't happening every single day. And I tell you, the calendar creeps up and the work life creeps up and the balance creeps up. But it always is important to stay focused. So many of you who continue to listen to the old episodes, I assure you with 175 episodes, there's something in there you haven't heard before. So I continue to appreciate that. But so this weekend, I had to do a little soul searching. We're coming up on posting on some social media. And, of course, what I realize is when you start posting on social media, you actually get to touch the entire world, which in so many ways is good. And then the entire world gets to reach back and touch you back. And sometimes that's not always good. So had a little bit of a dilemma on social media, not a big deal, but nonetheless, it just it made me take a second and sit back and go, wait a minute. Is this what I really want to be doing? Is this what I really signed up for? And so I sat down and had to really think about it, had to readjust my strategy, figure out what it is that I was trying to do and actually why I was trying to do it. And as you know, if you've followed along, it's very important for me that we continue, all of us stay focused on hitting our goals. And so here we are. It's over the weekend. It's Saturday night. My wife and I are sitting at home alone, and I'm preparing to kind of get a show on. Social media is blowing up, not necessarily in a good way. And I said, you know what? Let's just go grab some dinner. And so I shut everything down, closed the computer. We walked out and we had dinner. And I'm really at this point where I'm just kind of, admittedly, just a touch frustrated. And so we go to dinner, and I said, we go to our favorite place, and we walk in, and the place is just jammed packed. And so we walk in, and they say it's going to be about a 30-minute wait. And I said, okay, that's fine. So we sat there, and we're in the restaurant waiting. And next thing I know, a bus pulls up. And I looked at the hostess, and I'm like, is that bus coming in here? I was like, oh, yeah. And I said, oh, we're out of here. It's because if a bus pulls up, the kitchen is going to be completely slammed. So we left there, and I said, let's just go grab a cheeseburger. So we go up to a place here in Indiana called Freddy's Frozen Custard and Freddy's, steak burgers, and not exactly the most point-friendly restaurant. But I was at that point where I just wanted to do something. I didn't care. I just said, let's just go do it. So we go up, we order, we sit down, and we're waiting for the food. And this whole time, I'm second guessing this whole strategy. The last year and a half of my life, I'm trying to figure out, am I making the right decisions? Am I doing the right things? Is what I'm doing worth it? And I know the answer to that. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely know that this is worth it. But I tell you, sometimes I wonder. And so I'm sitting there, and at this exact moment, I'm contemplating, I don't know what I'm going to do. And is it really making a difference, I guess, is the question I asked myself. So at that moment, they called our number, order number, 265 or whatever it is. I get up, I walk up, and I carry the food. And so my wife orders a cheeseburger. I had a double cheeseburger and some French fries and I, no regrets, right? And so I'm walking back to the table. And just as I get close to the table, I reach down to put the tray down. And all of a sudden, off to my shoulder, this young man comes up to me and he says, "Excuse me, sir." And I looked, and I didn't think he was talking to me at all. And he's about my daughter's age, probably in a high school kid, very fit, very athletic kid. And he says, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Yeah." And I'm thinking maybe I picked up his order, right? I'm thinking, maybe he ordered the cheeseburgers and I picked up the wrong order. And instead he's going to tackle me and, I'm going to lose my cheeseburger. And so I said, "Yeah, what could I do?" And he's like, Are you FatDag? And it caught me off guard. And I said, "Well, yeah, I am." He goes, I just wanted to thank you. And so now for the split second, this entire conversation plays off, and in a split second, I'm like, "Thank me." And I'm looking at the kid. I'm thinking, maybe he's lost a ton of weight. I guess I don't really know, because I just really don't know the impact we're having. And he looks at me and he says, "My mom is in your meeting, and she's doing amazing work, and she listens to your podcast, and so I recognize you from the podcast because I watch it too with her." And I just wanted to thank you for helping change my mom's life. And I tell you, I sat there pretty much speechless. And so I told him, said, "Grab your phone, take it out, let's take a selfie, text it back to mom, and I know exactly who his mom is. I'm going to see her soon." And it was just for that split second, everything up to that point had been validated. I'm wondering if this was right. And, the fact that, the first restaurant we went to was packed, and a bus pulls up and drops off, a whole bunch of people. It forced us to drive 20 minutes to a completely different restaurant. And then here, think about the courage and the strength and how proud someone has to be as a high school kid to come up to a complete stranger in the middle of a restaurant and say, "Are you FatDag? And I want to thank you for what you're doing." So that right there told me, you can say whatever you want on Facebook. I don't care. You can say whatever you want on Twitter. I don't care. I am dialed in to the lives that we're changing. That's where I'm focused. That's the direction I'm headed. And every single time somebody says they've done this, I'm going to know that together as a community, we pulled together and got it done. So Trevor, shout out to you, man. Thank you for making my night. You obviously, you're doing well as well, because you're continuing to inspire your mom, giving her an amazing why, that she wants to continue to be fit and healthy. So awesome work. So again, thank you for that. Changing gears a little bit, if you didn't know we were going live, Instagram will tell you, if you follow WhysAdvice on Instagram, on Twitter, WhysAdvice on Twitter, that will tell you when we're going to live. But you can also, right now, go to Instagram, look at the WhysAdvice profile. There's an announcement. The last 12 photos that I posted on Instagram make a collage in the profile page, and that's an announcement that I'll release it on March 1st. On the podcast. If you're following on social media, you may already know what the announcement is, but I'm pushing you to Instagram to check out that announcement. And I can tell you 258 people already have signed up for that announcement, which again, absolutely blows my mind. So folks, keep up the amazing work. This journey is absolutely worth it. This journey is absolutely possible. You can do whatever you want to do. It's possible. It's absolutely doable. Last piece before we go into the episode is I got an email tonight from Leslie. Leslie is the super girl. It's spelled just like you'd think, soup or girl. And she wrote me an email tonight just before I was coming live. So it's why we're working into the show. And, and she makes real healthy seasonal vegan kosher soups. And, she said, I'm really working on their Weight Watcher friendlies. They're about 12 ounces. They range from 3.5 up to 9 points. Supergirl.com is her website. Just want to kind of shoot that out there for you. I have no idea. Her website's awesome. Her personality is awesome. So you have to bet the soup is going to be awesome. And I'll try them and let you know. That's how we do it. Lori writes in here. Lori says, "Dear FatDag, first off, finding your podcast has been a God breeze in my life. I appreciate so much of all that you've done and you are continuing to do. You are a game changer for sure. My kids are grown, but I remember all too well the days of them asking to hear a favorite story again and again. Tell me again. So, tell me again that I can do it. I'm worth it. It doesn't matter how old I am. It doesn't matter how much I have to lose. It doesn't matter if I lose half a pound a week. It doesn't matter if my life isn't perfect. It doesn't matter how rich or how poor I am. It doesn't matter if I'm going through a rough patch in my life. Tell me again that I can do it and that you will believe I can do it until I believe in myself. Your wingman, Lori." Well, Lori, I believe that. It's not just me saying that. I truly believe that all those things you wrote don't matter. You are worth it. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you've listened to the show, you've heard people all the way up in their well into 70s who are losing significant weight, having amazing weight losses. You've heard people who are half a pound a week who've continued to do it to get it done. You've heard people who have lost 150 to close to 200 pounds. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much you have to lose. It doesn't matter the pace at which you do it. And if you've listened to the show, you've yet to hear someone say, "My life is absolutely perfect." That's not going to happen. Well, it depends how you define it, because I believe all of us have the perfect life. And it's the life that we've created. And so regardless of the ups and downs, we're able to focus and get it done. Doesn't matter how rich you are. Doesn't matter how poor you are. It doesn't matter if you're going through a rough patch in your life. You can do it. You absolutely can do it. I believe you can do it. And I will believe you can do it. The folks in the Wise Wingman Facebook group, they believe you can do it. We are going to believe for you until you start setting small goals. And as you start setting and checking off those small goals, one by one, you'll start seeing a pattern of success. A pattern of losing a half a pound here, a half a pound there, that adds up over the course of your lifetime and completely changes your life. Lori, you can do this. I'm so glad that you've tuned to the podcast. I'm glad that you found it. I'm glad that you're plugged into the group. I hope you're in the Wise Wingman Facebook group. That is an amazing group of people who are just truly here to get it done. It's the power of positive thinking. Whatever you believe you can do, you're going to work very hard to prove yourself right. Thanks for writing in for sure. Next up, Denise writes in and says, "Hi, FatDag. Now that I wrote down my whys, I thought I would write in with an update. I started this journey with Weight Watchers at 220 pounds, and I'm now 30 pounds lighter and continuing to become stronger and happier. For the first time ever, I am not finding this lifestyle change hard. The day that I decided enough was enough, something clicked. I love getting blue dots. I started this right from the beginning. After the third week, my cravings stopped. I also noticed I wasn't snacking on the way home from work or when I was making dinner. It scared me that it was just too easy. I was waiting for the shoe to drop. I was waiting for the weight to stop coming off. I was waiting for me to fail. And you know what? It hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen. I have put safeguards in place in case I start slipping. I have a friend that is a lifetime member that I can talk to. I have promised her I will go to meetings if I find myself struggling. I'm an online-only member. I listen to you every day to keep my head in the game. I go on Connect frequently, and I read others' successes and their struggles. I'm in this for life, and I'm so ready for this change. After so many years in denial that I was obese, I have taken control of my life. Last month, I emailed you, and at the end of the email, I said it was time to go write my why. See, even then I was putting it off. But by putting pen to paper, you make it real. You bring up stuff you don't want to admit or have not faced for a really long time. I have journaled before, I wrote in diaries, done positive affirmations and so on, but here I sit, overweight and unhealthy. So why would writing down my why be any different than all the other times that I've tried before? Why write things down if nothing is going to change? Then I realized the only person that knows me is me. The only person that can really help me is me. The only person that can change me is me. If I can't face the things that are holding me back, how can I expect anyone else to help me? So I sat down, I took a really hard, compassionate look at all the things I have not been willing to face. So here are a few of my whys. Number one, my son graduated last year from high school. It's one of the proudest moments of my life as a mom, and you know what? There is not one photo of me. Why? Because I made sure I was the one taking the pictures. I was too ashamed to be in any of the family photos. Not that I would have admitted it at the time, and oh, how I wish I could have that day back to enjoy the celebration and not worry about how I looked. Number two, I went swimming in the lake and couldn't get back up on the dock. I couldn't pull myself up, and the people on the dock were trying to help. I was so embarrassed. I looked, and I felt like a beached whale. So I stopped doing anything that could put me in an embarrassing situation. I want to live, really live, enjoy doing anything that I want, knowing that I'm fit and healthy to do it without hesitation. Say yes, I can do that. Number three, I promised myself when my weight started affecting my health, I would lose weight. For so long, I ignored me being out of breath when I walked up a flight of stairs, or my doctor telling me my blood pressure was on the borderline of high, and we have to monitor it. There were so many warning signs, and I just wouldn't admit it to myself that I was unhealthy. No longer will I avoid the warning signs. I will be the healthiest I can be. Number four, lastly, I want to feel sexy again. I want to feel comfortable in my body. I'm amazed that at my heaviest, my husband still loves me. I imagine how wonderful it would be if I knew that I looked good. How amazing I would feel without the shame, without the embarrassment and rolls of fat. How sexy would that be? And that, FatDag, is why. See you at goal. Thanks for all you do. My Canada Connect name is Denise G50. Not very original. I didn't realize the power of Connect when I made up my login, or it would have been way more original. Wishing you and your family very, very happy and healthy day, Denise. Denise, thank you for such an amazing email. And I think you're absolutely right. And I encourage you, everyone listening, you've got to write down your why. There's something very magical and powerful about taking out a pen and a piece of paper and writing down your why. It slows down the creative thought. It minimizes the distractions. It gets you focused on what truly you need to think about next. And as you dig in, you start confronting things that you didn't really know, you weren't willing to admit. Whatever it is, that power of writing it down brings it to light. And it's at that point, when you understand it, you can begin to change it. Denise, you've done that 30 pounds lighter. That doesn't happen by accident. That's you dialed in. That's you focused. That's you knowing what you're trying to do, waking up every single day focused and going after it and getting it done. I love how you've reframed at the very end of the very opening sentence how you're down 30 pounds and continuing to become stronger and happier. The weight is one thing. The strength and the happiness is immeasurable. The fact that you're already dialed into how you feel and the strength of that will power you through, because those are the pieces of this journey you're going to need for a lifetime. You absolutely are great to connect to a friend who's already a lifetime member. If you want to have success, you got to hang out with people who are successful. That's how this journey works. And at that point, you reach back and you pull people into the tribe. You don't let them pull you back. You follow the plan. You dial in. You lose the weight you want to lose. You get stronger. You get healthier. You solve all of the issues that you wrote down as your why. You do that by finding the success, hanging out with the successful people, reaching back and making that community bigger. Congratulations on doing this. And as you opened up also in your email and you talked about who has the power to do this, the only person that knows you is you. The only person that can change this is you. The only person that can do all of this work is the person who wants to get it done, and that's you. I can offer you encouragement. I can offer you advice. I can offer you support, but I can't be there 24 hours a day. You're the only one who spends the entire day with you. Continue to feed yourself positive energy. Continue to feed yourself the positive thoughts, and you will find a way to nutrition your body to a healthy weight range. You can do it. Taking that long, hard, compassionate look at all of your whys really helps you at this point in the journey. You've had some success. You're 30 pounds down. You're clearly focused on what's going on. Now you power through and get it done. At your son's graduation, I know that feeling all too well. I know the feeling of hiding behind the camera. I know the feeling of someone standing next to you saying, "Oh, want me to take it?" And you saying, No, I'll take it. And the people are like, No, I'll take it. Get in there. I'll take it. No, I got it. Oh, this is a new camera, whatever. We make up all these crazy, I get that. It's why I encourage you on this journey to not only, follow through on your plan, not only write down your why, but start taking photos now, because you're going to want those photos later on. And I promise you, when you reach your goal, you're really going to start going back after those photos. So encourage you to absolutely, at this point, break down that mental block of not taking photos and take all the photos you can. Celebrate who you are today and watch how you change. The embarrassing situation at the swimming, I get it. I can't even imagine it. It's unfathomable, the shame, humiliation, embarrassment. But what's absolutely awesome is you recognize that's not who you are. That's not who you want to be. And you are going to make a completely different you. It absolutely is wonderful. It's an amazing journey. Your husband's an amazing guy. He's going to love you no matter what. I understand that side of it as well. But you can do this. Denise, thank you for your email. I'm incredibly proud of you. Way to write down your why, and way to validate everything that I've said is that writing down your why is significantly more valuable than thinking about it, than typing about it, than tweeting about it. It's you taking the time to think about what it is you want to do. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people like runners, cyclists, strength trainers, vegans, and more. Health IQ is the fastest-growing life insurance company with over $5 billion in coverage. Like saving money on your car insurance for being a good driver, Health IQ saves you money on your life insurance for living a health-conscious lifestyle. 56% of Health IQ customers save between 4 and 33% on their life insurance. Health IQ reduces your chance of being penalized for adverse family health history if you're otherwise healthy. Most carriers will penalize people if their heart rate is too low. Health IQ actually helps them recognize that this is a sign of your excellent health and fitness. Health IQ has convinced carriers to provide special rates to those who have chosen a plant-based diet. A low-carb diet reduces your cardiovascular risk despite increasing your total cholesterol. Health IQ carriers are a little more lenient. I checked it out myself. The quote came in at a lower rate than my current policy. I've gone through the process of getting screened. I had my blood drawn. I talked to Ryan at Health IQ, and he was able to answer all of my questions. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/DAG. Life insurance companies calculate your policy rates based on your nearest age, not your actual age, and rates increase as you get older. Lock in the best rates possible by getting a free quote today. Visit healthiq.com/DAG. Out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, Pamela writes in, says, "Hi, FatDag. I made goal today. I listened to my gut and I remembered what you said in several podcasts. I will just know when I get to goal. My total weight loss, 99.2 pounds. Well, yes, I've gone up a bit since the last email, but I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly happy with how I look and how I feel. Thanks again to all of the wingmen out there. 6 weeks until I get to join Team Lifetime. I can't wait. To everyone out there new to Weight Watchers or who is struggling, you are worth it. You can do it. And the biggest thing I can say is don't compare your journey to someone else's. No two people are the same. Sending you all smiles, high fives, and good focus. Username Pamela, GOLLOB, out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. Pamela, congratulations. Welcome to goal. Way to go. Team Lifetime is absolutely in your grasp. 6 weeks of maintenance. You know how to do it. You know how to dial in. You know how to stay focused. You can get it done. I'm very proud of what you said in your email is that you're perfectly happy with how you look and how you feel. That's a feeling you can't buy. It doesn't matter what the scale says. I assure you that look and that feeling sticks around, in a range. In a very healthy, happy range. It's the perfect balance of getting it done and 99.2 pounds. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Think about that for a second and think about when you first started. If someone would have said, hey, you have to lose 100 pounds, it's daunting at first to think that's even a possibility. I think in a lot of cases, people say, yeah, it's not even physically possible. But here you are, you're out here getting it done, and you offer an amazing piece of advice at the end. Don't compare your journey to someone else's. No two people are the same. That's exactly right. If you want to lose weight at the same rate as someone else, there's a couple things you have to do. You have to do every single thing they do. You have to breathe at the exact time. You have to have the same heart rate. You have to take the same steps. You have to eat the exact same food. You had to have had the same body composition. You had to have had the same starting weight. It's absolutely impossible for two people to have every single thing exactly the same. So you wake up and you do the best that you can in the situation that you're in, and you simply don't quit. And when you don't quit, you write in an email with the opening line saying, I made goal today. How cool is that? And you just know it. You just hop on the scale and you say, I'm going to call this goal. I'm perfectly happy with how I look and how I feel. When you get to that point, you absolutely deserve to celebrate. Pamela, congratulations. Great job for sure. Next up, out of Reno, Nevada, Kirby writes in and says, hey, FatDag, today was a rough day, but there was an accomplishment. I'm on travel for work, but I still want to stay on plan and get my activity in. Luckily, I have access to a great gym. So great, it was overwhelming. There's a pool, more machines than you can shake a stick at, a spa. Hell, there's even a cafe. As soon as I was there, I felt lost. These aren't the machines I'm used to at my gym. Where can I get a towel? Where am I supposed to start? Long story short, I didn't end up getting a workout in. I just never really could get comfortable. So where's the accomplishment? I showed up. Attendance. Now I know where the locker room is. Now I know I actually need to bring a towel. Spin class is upstairs at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I may not have gotten a workout in today, but I showed up. Tomorrow, I'll be ready to crush it. Thanks for championing the attendance goal and walking with me this whole time, Kirby. P.S. Air Force gyms sure are nice. Kirby, dude, good to hear from you as always. I know we chat back and forth every once in a while, but it's been too long for me. And I'm glad to see the Air Force gyms are taking care of you. Thank you for your service in the United States Navy. There's just not enough room on the ships to put the gyms like we have in the Air Force. I get it. But your email is absolutely brilliantly crafted because the attendance goal mindset is exactly like you said. I think so many of us, when we start this journey, the gym is so intimidating. You know, we don't know where to park. I don't even know where the front door is sometimes. And you walk in and you just have that feeling of you walking in and every single person is looking at you like this guy's lost. Been there. I've done it. And so what you've done is by you having an attendance goal of I'm just going to go there. You now enabled yourself to go back. And so I'm going to take your email and use it as a lesson to anyone who's just thinking about starting. And you think about the gym membership, it's intimidating, it's daunting, and every single person in there, you feel like they've been there forever. And what I can tell you is that on day one of your going back to the gym journey, here's what I want you to do. Here is your workout routine for day one. Walk into the gym, walk around the perimeter, walk in the locker room, and walk out. That's all you got to do. And you think about that. If you did that for the first week, let's say, you're now a regular. You're now in there. You understand where everything is. You now have the lay of the land. You have your bearings. And then now you can go in and just work on one thing. We're not going to change our lives overnight, but we can start changing our routine quickly. You've demonstrated that so well. Now you know you have to bring a towel. Now you know that the Air Force gyms are way nicer than anything the Navy offers. I'm proud of you for understanding that. You know that spin class is tomorrow at 4. You figured out where the schedule is. You figured out where the bulletin board is. It is an absolutely huge accomplishment. Dude, I'm so proud of you. Thanks for sharing such an amazing email because so many times we're just so intimidated. And that intimidation you don't have to go to the gym on day one and use every single piece of equipment. You just got to show up. And the more you show up, the more you become comfortable with what you're doing. That comfort turns to you having success. You absolutely can have any success that you want. And when you get there, we celebrate. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on WhysAdvice Podcast, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your questions because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I also want you to join in on Facebook. As I finish up Kirby's email, he's writing back in saying apparently airmen need more facilities. So it's an interactive show, and I want you to be part of this community. I want you to be part of the group that's out here every single day getting it done. Go to Facebook. Go to the Wise Wingman Facebook group. Join us. Celebrate with us. Tell us where you're going, what's going well. Tell us where you're struggling. Let us lift you up. Let us get together. Let's reach back and find people who are struggling and bring them forward to where we are in our mind, in our journey, and we're absolutely getting it done. From the Chair Force, this is that's a fun comment from the Air Force. Has great gyms. I'm ad-libbing here to Facebook, so I apologize, but I'm trying to keep up with the Facebook community. But let's go ahead and wrap this up. That's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Chair Force? Chair Force? Man, you are going to pay for that one. Thank you for listening to the WhysAdvice podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit FatDag.com, click on Become a Patron today.